Ms. Charles, I wanted to first start by saying just how pleased and thankful that I am that the administrator Power recently visited Kenya and Somalia. The drought that is being experienced by the Horn has been on my mind. I've been communicating with the administration to take urgent action in helping us address that. So I'm thankful to see U.S. aid take it seriously in addressing that, and the funding that was announced over the weekend, I know will save countless lives. According to recent calculation, over half of Somalia's population is food insecure, with 1.5 million children being malnourished. There is no question that we need a global response to combat the effects of this drought. I think we would agree that for this to be most effective, it needs to be multilateral. What have the conversations been with our partners on addressing the drought, and what still needs to be done?
Thank you for that question. I was actually traveling with the administrator in northern Kenya and Mogadishu. It just arrived back last night for this hearing.
Wonderful.
And it was really important, one, that we make that announcement in the region, and also that we meet with the new president in Somalia as well as his special envoy for famine. And I will say it's been a marked change with the appointment of the special envoy for famine, with his special envoy for famine, in terms of the government of Somalia's own leadership in raising the profile of this crisis, not just with media and others, but also in other capitals. While we were there, Administrator Power convened a meeting of other donor representatives, including what we might consider non-traditional donor representatives, the Turks, the Emiratis, the Saudis, the Qataris, and others, to try and again raise the profile and motivate greater investment in the humanitarian response in Somalia. This has also been a feature of conversations with G7 counterparts as well. But much
Glad
more
to hear that. I'd recently also had conversation with the envoy that was appointed, and as well as the new president and the new prime minister. And I am curious to know what USAID's plans are for using this money to build sustainable and resilient solutions for food security in Somalia. And if you can also maybe make some recommendations and suggestions for things that we here in Congress can do to assist you all in that work.
So, in the face of what the people of Somalia are facing now, with a fourth failed rain and potentially even likely a fifth failed rain in this upcoming season, even potential for a sixth failed rain, I'm loath to highlight kind of a silver lining, but I will say I heard from partner after partner when I was in Mogadishu that the resilience investments that had been made following the 2011 and then 2017, 2018 droughts had been paying dividends. And in fact, we would have seen, unfortunately, much more excess death by now had those investments not been made. I'm very worried that in responding to the immediate crisis and saving those that are closest to death right now, that we are going to have to move resources from those critical resilience investments that are needed to help folks sustain future shocks in order to address life-saving needs now. So when we're talking about our own assistance, but also other donors, we're really encouraging not just increased humanitarian assistance, which is absolutely needed, but also longer-term investments in resilience in Somalia and climate adaptation as well.
And do you have any recommendations of things that Congress can be doing to help assist further?
I certainly think support for those resilience, for the Feed the Future type of investments are critical. I also think, I met with the administrator and I met with a number of senators before the trip, and I'll give this message here. But when you meet with your counterparts in other countries, we've really seen the devastating impact of the UK in particular step back from investments in the Horn of Africa and critical critical resilience investments in the Horn. We need other donors to step up, and in your engagement with your counterparts in other parliaments, raising this issue with them.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I know, Madam Chair, I'm out of time, but I was recently in London meeting with MPs there and raising this issue, and I do agree with you that that is important. With that, I yield back, Madam Chairwoman.